Hi everybody, my name is Sharon and welcome to Knit Style. Hi everyone and welcome to episode 127 of Knit Style, and as you can see I am in a brand new venue. Actually, it's not brand new, but this is going to be my winter recording headquarters this year. It is still upstairs in my studio, and I just kind of moved the shot around a little bit because I just don't like that dark ceiling behind me. So I have it a little bit here, but I think it makes the shot look a little interesting. So yeah, let me know what you think. It is Monday, October 24th, 2016, and I'm recording a day late again because I wanted to record yesterday outside and it was very windy, and then I ran out of time and I wanted Rich to be on the show, and then he's kind of sick, he had a cough, so it just didn't happen yesterday. So you're just going to have me today. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a shorter show because I don't have a heck of a lot to show you, because I was actually going to show you my Rhinebeck haul this week, but I kind of like to do that with Rich because he's funny and he'll make funny comments. So Rich is my husband, for you new viewers. And oh, speaking of which, hi new viewers. I know I have some new subscribers this week. Thank you so much, and I'll be talking about that in a few minutes, but welcome to the Knit Style podcast. So for those of you who have been listening for a long time, actually I started out as an audio podcast. My husband and I used to do a segment called Bar Time, and my husband is kind of a dry-witted, funny guy, and we had some cool moments on the show. So I'd like to have him back to talk about my Rhinebeck haul, and that will be next week. So speaking of new subscribers, I have a bunch of new subscribers, and I actually reached over 1,000 subscribers this week. I was so excited. So that means I am going to have a giveaway, and I'm going to be giving away some of my hand-dyed yarns. I haven't decided which ones yet, but you will see. So I'll probably give away 2 skeins of my hand-dyed yarn and some other goodies. So if you haven't posted in that thread yet, post. There's a thread in my Ravelry group. It is the Knit Style group on Ravelry. And you don't have to be a member. It's fine if you don't want to join my group. I'm a member of a million different groups, and I know that gets crazy. Post in that thread and say that you've subscribed on YouTube, and I will have a drawing. Probably not next week because I want to get the prizes together, but in another 2 weeks I will have that drawing. So yeah, post in that group if you've subscribed recently or in the past and forgot to post. And I'll have some prizes. Okay, so before I show you anything, I just want to do a quick verbal recap of Rhinebeck weekend. And I actually did 2 vlogs for Rhinebeck weekend, and I structured it as Rhinebeck Day 1 and Rhinebeck Day 2, and they're actually pretty different. Rhinebeck Day 1 was basically me on my own, walking around the festival, seeing old friends, and doing a little bit of shopping. Rhinebeck Day 2 was a shopping day with my friend Donna, and that was really fun to do. So if you haven't seen those vlogs, check them out. I think they came out nice, and I've gotten some really good responses for those vlogs. So I really wanted to capture the flavor of Rhinebeck, and I believe I succeeded. So if you haven't seen those, they're right here on the channel, the 2 shows before this one, and yeah, check those out. I think they came out nice, and I'm kind of proud of them. So it was very cold when I left the house on Saturday morning, and I had on my sweater, my one-way tee, and I had on this beautiful scarf that I've been wearing a lot lately. This is the Trillion pattern by Martina Bem, and the yarn is Vine Yarns in her Volca base, and oh my gosh, it's lovely. And I adore it, and I want to wear it all the time. So I've been wearing it a lot. Anyway, so got to the festival, and I kind of like to take it easy. I don't go crazy in a mad shopping rush. The one place I did go was Jenkins, to Jenkins Spindles, and you'll see if I bought any in next week's show. And then I went directly to the fleece sale. So on my way to the fleece sale, I met Andre Sue Knits. She spotted me walking, and she said hello, and I've never met Andy before, and I have to say, it was one of the highlights of my weekend. Andy's been a great inspiration to me, you know, with the video recordings. She does such a beautiful job with her recordings and her editing, and yeah, it was so great to meet her. She's just such a lovely, lovely person, and it was fun. So I got to chat with her a little bit later on as well. So I got to the fleece sale and poked around in there, and I ran into Emily from Fibertown, and that was fun. I've never met Emily either, so that was super fun. And after the fleece sale, I just shopped until the podcaster meetup, picked up a few things. I didn't buy a heck of a lot, really, comparatively, but you'll see. And it's actually might not be that interesting, but maybe Rich will make it more interesting. We'll see. So then I went to the podcaster meetup and saw so many of you guys. Thank you so much for coming to that and saying hello. I'm not going to mention all of you, but many of you were in the vlog, and that was awesome. And I caught up with lots of people who watch, and I caught up with a lot of my favorite podcaster friends, and it was amazing. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. So yeah, so that was that. So I was pretty tired this week after Rhinebeck, honestly. I mean, unless you've experienced it, it's very exhausting. You're out in the fresh air all day long, and you're just being social and excited, and you come down off that, and Monday, oof, I was not feeling well. I mean, I went to work and everything was fine, but then I usually teach knitting on Mondays and didn't do that. I canceled because I was not feeling it, and I had a little bit of a sinus thing going on, so anyway. But yeah, here we are again. So let me get right into what I've been working on. Well, I've been working on things, but yeah, I got stalled out on the progress of one thing, so you will see that in a minute. So when last we spoke, I have been knitting on the Vulpix shawl by Stephen West, and this shawl is for my son, and I'm knitting it out of my hand-dyed yarn in a black and gray, just basic black, basic gray. And I really wanted to finish it for Rhinebeck because my kids were going to come with me on Sunday, and that actually didn't happen. They didn't come, but I spent the day shopping with my friend, and that was probably better than having my family there. No offense to my family. I love spending time with them. I really do. But they don't do the festival like I do. And it was so much fun shopping with my friend Donna because we enabled each other, and it was really fun. We just went through everything, and yeah, it's just, you know, it's nice to have somebody see things that you don't see, and we had a great time shopping, so that was great. Anyway, so I wanted to finish this project before Rhinebeck, and it didn't happen because I ran out of yarn. So not the fault of the pattern at all. It is entirely my fault. And what I should have done is I should have used my base that has more yardage in it. This base that I used has 400 yards per skein. I do have another base that would have worked fine that had 463 yards per skein, and that's what I should have used, because 400 yards per skein did not cut it. Now he calls for 435 yards in color A and 430 in color B, and that's exactly dead on perfect. That's pretty much what I'm going to use. And you know, I thought, oh, you know, it's a 2-color shawl, I should be fine. No, I was not fine with 800 yards. I needed, you know, I needed 865 yards. So yeah, not a big deal though, because I can dye yarn, which is awesome. So I couldn't finish this. I had to put it down last week when I ran out, and I went to my dye pots on Saturday morning and I split a skein of this and dyed half black and half gray, and I have 2 tiny skeins, basic gray, basic black, and I'm finishing the shawl. I'm almost done. I have the bind off left. So the leftovers of this I will either use for heels and toes and socks, or I will put them up in the shop. I'll just split them up into quarter skeins. So I'll probably get, you know, 2 25-gram skeins out of each. Maybe a little more. I'll see. So here is the shawl. It's big. It's a good size. I didn't think it was, when I looked at pictures of it, it doesn't look that big, but it's pretty good size. So here it is. And it's hard to tell because it's all scrunched up on the needles. But it's beautiful. And I love it. It has this little color work intarsia piece here that was really super fun to knit. And then you're just doing basic stripes. Very, very Stephen West. Very signature of him. And then this big color block in the middle. Love it. I mean, it's cool. It's really nice. I'd like one. I'd like one in these colors. So maybe. But I would probably, well, you know, I could dye 2 more skeins and then use these and make myself one, or steal his. I have a feeling he's going to wear it a lot though, because it's going to get cold soon. Love the pattern. Stephen West is a genius. It's super well written, easy to understand. His yarn estimates, don't think you're going to need less, because you're not. You're going to need what he recommends. And I haven't knit a lot of his patterns, so that's probably his MO. I mean, he's got to be very accurate about his yarn counts. So I'll know that in the future when I knit another Stephen West pattern. So yeah, that's that. That's Vulpix. And it will be finished tonight. So I'm super excited. So you'll see the whole thing all blocked out next week. So the only other thing I've been working on is socks, because I would like to finish 12 pairs of socks by the end of the year. I am pretty on track for doing that. I'm a little behind. I have 7 in my box of socks right now, 7 pairs, and I have 2 pairs on the needles, which is highly unlike me. I usually only knit 1 pair. So what I did was, in between, when I ran out of yarn for this project, I decided to concentrate on my socks, which I never do, because Knitting socks all day long hurts my hands. I have a hand disease. I had hand surgery a couple years ago. I don't know if you can see that. I get these weird like growths on my hands, and like this finger's pulling down again. It's a long story. But anyway, it scrunches up when I have to knit socks. I kind of scrunch up my hands and it hurts after a while. It's fine if I knit them maybe an hour a day, but I can't knit them all day or my hands would really cramp up. So that was a little tough because I did spend maybe 3 or 4 days, no, I shouldn't, maybe 3 days knitting socks all day. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't want to hurt myself. So anyway, let me show you the progress. So you saw this one last week. This is Knitty in Color in her spooky colorway. I think it's spooky. Or no, creepy, sorry. It's the creepy colorway. And it's just a basic cuff down, heel flap, Kitchener stitched sock. So I started the second one and I'm almost to the heel, which is awesome. And I actually probably would have been finished with these, except I got very distracted. And I'll show you what I got distracted with right now. So when I was at Rhinebeck, I made a purchase, and this is probably my most exciting purchase that I made as far as showing off what I bought. But last year I had bought several sock blanks from Gals Art, and I knit one up in, it's not up here, I knit one up, it was a double knit sock blank, so you knit 2 socks at a time and unravel it, and it was fine, but I found there was a lot of tangling, and no, I really didn't want to deal with that tangling again. So I had 2 more double knit sock blanks, and I just destashed them on her Ravelry group. Some nice lady bought them from me, so that was great. So I love knitting sock blanks, but I prefer the singles. So when I was at Rhinebeck, she had several beautiful blanks, and I bought this one. How fun is that? I adore it. First of all, I am 6 and I love sparkle. So this, I'm going to hold it up close. I don't know if you can see, but it has sparkle. Secondly, to appeal to my 6-year-old self, look at these neons. I mean, I certainly wouldn't wear these around my neck, but on my feet, heck yeah. Love this. So I had to cast this on immediately, and my friend Donna enabled me. I said, I really want to cast this on, but I have another pair of socks. Donna says, just cast it on. And I was like, okay, I'll cast it on. So I did. And how fun. I love it. So the foot is complete. And I am in the process of turning the heel. I'm going to finish that tonight. This is a Fish Lips Kiss heel, toe-up sock. And I will be continuing up the legs soon, probably tomorrow, because I have another training tomorrow, and I can't knit on that other one because I haven't turned the heel yet, so I will knit on this during my training. And everybody will be like, what is that? So, and the other thing is, this base is amazing. It creates the squishiest, most beautiful fabric. I mean, you know, crinkly, but it won't be once I block it. I just love the fabric that this sparkly base created. It's like the cushiest sock fabric ever. And even my friend said the same thing. She said, oh my gosh, this is so cushy. So I love this. It's my Gales Art Sock Blank purchase at Rhinebeck. So that is pretty much all I've been working on. I will switch back to knitting shawls, I think, this week. Although, here's another thing. Okay, can we talk? I did my winter clothes yesterday. That's why I didn't record really, was because I was cleaning my closet, as I do, twice or sometimes 3 times a year. And out with the spring clothes, summer clothes, and in with the wintry clothes. And so I had my shawls put away, brought them back out. I have 33 shawls. I mean, little ones. A lot of them are scarves, you know. 33. Now, I wear them all. I really do. Because, you know, I'm a working girl and, you know, I like to look nice at work, and it's cold. I'm always cold. And if I don't have a scarf on in that drafty old building, I freeze. So I wear all 33. I'm not going to lie, I really do. But that's a lot of shawls. So, yeah, I think I'm not going to slow up knitting them. I might give some of them away, because I know that there are people at work who would appreciate shawls, or maybe some people in my knitting group, because I want to knit more. But what I really need is sweaters. And I absolutely loved the one-way tee sweater that I knit last for Rhinebeck, and you could see it if you watch my vlog, and I'll wear it maybe next week. I just loved that sweater so much. It was so comfortable. It fit so beautifully. I'm getting better at knitting sweaters that fit me better. So I want to knit sweaters. And I had talked about the puntilla last week, and I was trying to decide what to do, whether to cast that on or not, because there's other things I wanted to cast on, but I'm going to cast it on because I want sweaters. Not that I don't love shawls. I will wear them, but I have a lot. So, yeah, I'm going to be casting on puntilla. I am going to cast on that big Nuvum shawl, because I don't have a lot of big shawls. Most of my shawls are small like this, because I'm a small person. But I could use some big shawls to wrap up in. So I'm going to cast that on. I think I'm going to hold off. I was going to cast on Nuvum and the Boo Knits pattern out of the Wool and Vine yarns in the Mexican hot chocolate colorway that I showed you. But I think I'm going to hold off on that, mainly because I want the right beads. And there's a bead show coming up in this early winter, or no, late winter, early spring. So I think I'm going to wait and bring that yarn to the bead show and get some beads the perfect beads for that. So, yeah. So you'll see my new cast-ons are going to be the Nuvum and puntilla. And then I'm hopefully finishing the Nuvum like sometime around February, March. And then I have a giant shawl project that I'm going to cast on. Another shawl, but I'll explain more about it when it happens. So, anyway, a lot of shawls. Alright, so this brings us to some other acquisitions that came in. I'm not going to show you my Rhinebeck acquisitions, but there's some things that came in the mail. So, first thing, I ordered this book. And I very rarely order physical books, but I was enabled by the Knit Girls who reviewed the book. And I really thought that this this is definitely my aesthetic, a lot of the patterns in here. And I know I would knit several of them. And I'm not going to do a review of this book. If you want to see a review, a full review, Laura and Leslie did a wonderful job reviewing. They're doing some great work with their camera now, which I love. They have a document camera that's showing the pictures and patterns. Love how they're doing that. So yeah, but I ordered it from Amazon, came on a rainy day, and the mail person shoved it in my mailbox and it is damaged. So I initiated a return and I got the new copy today. And a lot of times Amazon sends books in boxes so they don't get damaged. No. Mail person shoved it in my mailbox again, and this one is also damaged. It is creased and it's, you know, not even. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm not going to stand for that because, like I said, I don't buy books very often. And it's a beautiful book, and I don't want a damaged book. So I'm going to call them, and they better send me another one in a box. So my mail person doesn't shove it, and they folded it over. You can't really see the damage, but it's creased. They folded it over and shoved it in my mailbox. So yeah, that annoyed me. But anyway, there's a sweater in here that I would like to knit. And when I'm completed with puntilla, I believe I'm going to cast this on. And I have other sweater plans as well, and some of them are hand spun, which I haven't spun yet, but that's okay. I absolutely love this sweater. It's a yoke sweater, which are fun to knit, bottom up, and I just love the simple detailing at the yoke. And it's great. So I'm going to knit. This is in my plans to knit. And I love this shawl. I'd like to spin yarn for this shawl. Look how cozy that looks. Or just maybe, ooh, I get yarn from my LYS. Maybe I'll look at my LYS and see. It's a bulky. Oh, she's got some pretty bulky. So I'll have to look tonight, maybe. This is something like just to cuddle up in. It's a really pretty shawl. So those are the two patterns I'm interested in. So there's others in here. Like I said, watch the Knit Girls podcast. They did a great review. Alright, next thing I want to show you. I got these on a recommendation from a comment in the YouTube comments. These Knit Pro Zings. They came from the UK. The seller is on Etsy, and I'll put the details in the show notes. And she has really reasonable shipping to the, I think it was like $5, and I got 3 sets. So I haven't really knit with them much. I have my Easy Shawl by Martina Bem on them, and I don't have that up here today. So I haven't really touched that in about 2 weeks, but I'm going to pick it up very soon, and I will let you know how I like the Knit Pro Zings. So I'm always up for trying new needles. They look really nice. They're much lighter than my Addies. I am an Addie Sock Rocket or Addie Rocket fan. Huge fan of Addie. I love Addie. So let's see. And one more acquisition. I don't know how I got on this, but it probably came up. You know how Etsy sends you emails with, you'll like this. Or I don't know where I saw this, but this is just something fun. And I haven't opened it yet, so I'm going to open it right now. It's a Notions pouch. And I had to have it because of the saying. I wish she made it in a bag. Knit long and prosper. I'm a huge Trekkie fan from way back. I'm not a spring chicken, as you can see, and I watched Star Trek when it was on primetime. So I'm a huge fan. And this came from Becca Rain on Etsy. So I'll put those details in the show notes. But how cute is that? Super well made. And my notions are going in this. And there's little knit stitches on it. Oh, I love it. And I love the color scheme. Gray and green. Awesome. So that's super cool. All right, so that's it for acquisitions this week. Really quick, I did a little dyeing on Saturday. I am playing around with some Christmas colors, and I'm not ready to show them to you yet. I'm just still figuring out what I want to do. But I did a little experimental dyeing, playing around, and yeah, you can see this from space, basically. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind. It's on my 463-yard sock base. Haven't decided what to name it yet. I'm thinking of naming it something like Ho Ho Happy Halloween because it is a beautiful red orange, and that's really what I was going for. And I think it's a little bit too red for what I was looking for. I'd like a little more orange, but it's really beautiful and I love it. So it's basically a red with a little bit of orange highlights, and this will be in the shop on Tuesday. So the shop update will be tomorrow. Actually, by the time you see it, it might be today. So the shop update will be Tuesday, October 25th, 2016 at 8 p.m. And I still have a coupon code going. So I didn't mention it last week, but the coupon code is Fall Fun, and you get 20% off. So how cool is that? So yeah, pair of See from Space orangey red socks. Beautiful. For Halloween or Christmas. I just really think this is a fun color. So yeah. And if people like it, I'll dye it again. If not, it'll just be a one-of-a-kind. So there's that. All right, so I'm playing around with some Christmas colors. You will see those next week. And yeah, that's it. So I need to get going because it's Monday and I have to go teach my knitting class and I have to eat before I do that. So anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I will see you again next week where I will show off my Rhinebeck haul with my husband. And have a great week. Cheers.